Hey there everyone, this is the final sprint for my game engine project. So I'll just go through everything that I possibly can. So to start, we'll take a look at the class diagram and show how a few things are set up here. Specifically the collision. All of the volumes inherit from this collision volume. And inside the collision volume we have intersection methods. Let's see. So there's also the collision pair testing. There's also collision self-testing. And inside these, this is where we do the tiered collision tests, where we render different volumes depending on what we're testing for. Same thing for the self-test. Additionally, for the pair testing, we do the AABB test first for the group AABBs. And I'll demo all this in a moment, but I just want to go through it first. Other than that, what else do we have? All of these game objects. We have all of these managers, which I've added also a sound manager over here. Also Aug Engine Sound, which is an asset. And then there's also, in the asset manager, additional support for the Aug Engine Sound. Other than that, we have, where is it? Here we go. We have a Soundable 2D as well as a, geez, they throw it everywhere, Soundable 3D, which is right here. And what these have, they have a play function. And if a game object inherits from this, then it can call play and pass in a sound from the sound manager. So an example of this is I use this in the BG music. So we inherit from Soundable 2D, and then all we do in BG music here is when the scene enters, we start playing the music. And you can do different things like fade in, fade out, and all of that. I didn't actually get to that. Additionally, I have a listenable class, which you can update the listenable with different like direction and position and all that. Currently, I only have this set on the, let me see, where does this line go? It goes to the camera, or the God camera, yep. And the God camera will update the listenable with its position information as well as rotation and everything. And that'll call the sound engine manager and set the listener position according to that. And it also has to convert between the vectors to the Erklang vectors. So that's how the sound engine portion works. We have 2D sound, 3D sounds, as well as the listenable. That's all good to go. That's how the collision system works. That's good as well. I don't have a terrain manager. I have it all implemented in a single class right now, but it's definitely expandable. I did not have time for that. What else? Let's see. I think I have Perforce. Here we go. So all of that was handled for me. I went through the collision system, I went through collision volumes, collidable groups, all good. Visualizer, I'll show you that in a moment. Math tool as well. Terrain I explained. Documentation, I rebuilt the DoxyGen docs, and then my individual project. I did not do the particle system, but the sound engine is working quite well, so that should be pretty good. So I'll just demo a scene here, and this is the collision demo scene. And what we'll see here, I actually put everything really into this. So we have music playing. We also have an event when we collide with this object over here. What that will do is play another sound, and from this distance we won't really hear it, but once we move closer, whoop, kind of went through that. So let me move my microphone. So as you can hear, the music is playing. I'm also trying to adjust the camera so nice and close. Okay, and now I will do the collision again and have the sound play. Alright, so that's the demo of that. Set my mic back down. Alright, let me stop that music. That's BG music, like I said previously. So the way that I designed this, I wanted to be able to play multiple sounds from any given game object. So I didn't want to bind a single game object to a sound. So I wanted to keep the sound manager kind of independent, so you can just call play on any sound that you want at any given moment. It'll allow for flexibility. Say if you want to play different sounds depending on like the collision type or what you're colliding with. So right now I only have it where if the target box collides with a ship, it'll play a specific sound. But you could have this collide with different things, different sounds played, things like that. You can also go based off of like collision impact speed and work around that. So I think that's pretty modular. So now that that's commented out, I will go ahead and run this again to show some other the features that I have been working on. Alright, so as you probably saw in the other demo, I got the collidable groups working. So the 3 movable ships here are in a group. I also have the projection working, so that's those are the axes that you see right here. I have green for y-axis, blue for z, and then red for x. I'm also projecting my position of my movable ship onto these axes. And then I will zoom in on this collision over here to show the tiered collision. So first we check if the AABB is colliding. There we go. So that turns red when that is colliding. So once the AABB is colliding, we can then check if the bounding sphere starts colliding. If that's the case, which let me get a little closer. So once that starts colliding, then we can enable the AABB. And then if the AABB collides, then we'll finally enable the user selected volume, which is the OBB. And then we can check collision between those. So hopefully that gives a good insight into that. Moving on over to terrain here. As you can see, everything is working. I do have the min-max points rendering. That's all good. Did not have time to get to collision on this, unfortunately. But I think it would be pretty straightforward with everything else, so all the other systems in place. I think it's just given time frame and everything, just didn't have time for it. But I did look into how to project points. Pretty simple. It's basically what I've been doing right here on the X and Z axis here. I just do that. Oh gosh, just do that in a on the Y axis. So that should be good. Alright, so going back to the code. Anything else that I need to show? I think that should be everything. Class diagram, go back to that, wherever that went. Got to say I learned a lot in this course. definitely been interesting, especially considering jumping in halfway through. That's been a bit of a challenge, definitely. It would have been nice to architect this from the ground up, beginning in game 374. That would have been great. I would have probably made some changes to how things are designed here. Everything's a command. I don't know if I agree with that paradigm. There's definitely some strengths to it, I guess, but there's also, it just gets kind of hectic. Commands everywhere. Probably would have applied some other patterns in different places just to experiment, progressing with the engine. The scene. Oh, actually, I'll show you real quick how the scene holds the sound engine. So it's pretty simple. It's just like the camera manager. Our scene also holds a sound engine, and that allows for scene by scene sounds to be loaded and emptied. So from that, let me see. Go here. So yeah, when we start up a scene, we simply create a new sound engine, and then that sound engine, we can grab it from our scene manager. So in the scene manager, where the heck did I go? In the scene manager, we can get current sound engine, and what that will do is allow us to basically, from any game object that we have, we can grab the sound manager and then play a sound through that, and that'll also allow for modularity. So each scene can have different sounds associated with it. It's more efficient that way, and yeah. I think I went through everything now. Do a quick check of the checklist. Here we go. Yeah, everything looks good. I wish I had more time, of course. Definitely learned a lot. It's been a great course. Look forward to possibly joining the Azul team, as you suggested. That'd be a fun summer project. So, yeah, thanks for everything.